Welcome to the Nerd Nook. I'm your host, Evan Teague, and with me, like always, is Noah Bailey. So, this past week, some stuff has happened, but nothing more important has happened than the fact that me and my roommate finally got around to seeing the movie Snake Eyes. And we need to talk about this movie.
All right, so how did you guys decide this is what we want to watch? Because that's what I want to know. Because
Um,
no one recommended this movie to you.
no. So, I am a huge sucker for 80s, like all those like stupid 80s cartoons that are clearly considered
Oh
sell
yeah.
toys, Transformers, G.I. Joe, Ninja Turtles,
Oh
etc.
yeah.
Like, I've always loved that crap. It is crap. I love it. and I and like I haven't seen any of the recent like the GI Joe movies with Channing Tatum and whatnot, but like because they came out in the same era as the original Transformers, the Bayformers movies, I kind of looked at them with that same vibe. I just didn't want anything to do with that at the time.
And also, no one else has said anything positive, so it doesn't
Exactly.
help.
But when I heard that Snake Eyes was getting his own movie, I was like, okay, the trailers look decent. The like, he's everyone's favorite GI Joe. He's a black cloaked
He's the
ninja.
only one other than Joe that you know the name of.
I don't even think Joe's an
To be
actual character. I
honest.
think that's just whatever. But like the trailers are coming out. The trailers looked pretty good. Like it looked like a fun action movie. Like it looked like a movie I would like, but I didn't end up seeing it in theaters. But so um, mostly because of COVID, but also I just didn't have anyone to watch it with. Whatever. So I just put it on my ever-going list of things I should watch eventually. And the other day, my roommate and I were about like, we want to watch a movie. So I pulled up my list. I was like, none of these are jumping out to me. Passed it to him. He's like, what about Snake Eyes? I was like, okay. It's on Amazon Prime. So we watched it. And I am so glad I didn't see this movie in theaters. Like, what before I go, what are your general thoughts about this movie?
So so I'm not a big GI Joe fan. I'm not. I didn't really know much about the lore. I don't really know much about anything. I know Snake Eyes is the ninja one.
Mm-hmm.
That was my entire understanding of GI Joe going into this.
Yes.
And I'm like, all right, it's I'm thinking like Batman Begins meets like I don't know the A Team. I don't know really what I'm expecting going.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I'm just kind of expecting what I'm going because I know it's an origin story, and it's kind of just going like the whole time I'm watching this, I'm kind of waiting for it to kind of pick up,
Mm-hmm.
and then we get to the things where like you know how like when the movie does things and it's like, oh, this is supposed to be a big moment, and you're like, oh no, if that was the emotional payoff, it's going to be a long
Uh-huh.
movie.
Yep.
And it was a lot of that happening. And then by the end of the movie, I'm like, wait a minute, this doesn't even make any sense. Like that doesn't even that's stupid. They shouldn't do that. That makes no sense.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's like, you know
It's
what?
over.
It's over. It's fine. I don't even care. And then you get to the end, you're like, wait, I didn't learn anything. Because you literally get to the end, there's no explanation to why, it's like there's not really like first of all, the reason he's called Snake Eyes is stupid.
It's very
Second
dumb.
of all, it's very stupid. It's not like clever, it's not like lucky, it's literally stupid. Like it's like that's a dumb reason we call that. Second of all, the doesn't Snake Eyes not talk?
Yeah. Yeah. That is a.
Like that was kind of, like I forgot this going into the movie
Mm-hmm.
because again I didn't know a ton about GI Joe, but I remember like halfway through the movie I was like, Wait, isn't this the one that doesn't talk?
I
Like, I specifically remember him never talking.
I haven't brushed
Like,
up
he
on
was
like
like,
classic GI Joe lore, but as far as I remember, yeah, I'm pretty sure he doesn't talk.
yeah, like he does, like he never talks. Like and then I looked it up after the movie, and it's like in the lore he had this like accident or whatever where he like his vocal cords got cut or something, so he doesn't talk. Like there's this whole thing. So it's like, so they just ignored that whole thing. So that's
Maybe they
stupid.
were expecting to get a sequel and what happened in the sequel, but that's stupid. Like, why would you expect to make a
Right, but
sequel
it's
to this?
like that doesn't even. I mean, it didn't really make any sense
No.
because it was just kind of like, okay, this is this character's origin, but we're not going to go into anything about this character that you actually know. This is pretty much a brand new character, but from the start and at the
Mhm.
end of this movie, there's nothing about this character that's familiar other than the fact that they call him Snake Eyes.
Yep. And here is like my general synopsis of basically how this movie got made. I legitimately feel like this movie originated as just like, another like kung fu action like ninja movie, like, just, those that have made every now and then, like it was just one of those. And someone at the studio was like, this isn't focus testing well, or we feel like this would be good as something else. Let's figure out what we could do to make this movie better. So someone decided, hey, we've been kicking around the idea of making a Snake Eyes origin for some time. Let's just make this movie in the GI Joe universe. We're like, okay, let's do that. And I feel that, like, I don't even know if that's true, but the way the movie is, like,
It feels like
it feels like,
that.
because an hour into this movie, I'm actually kind of digging it. Like, I love Hong Kong action movies. Like, just like, I'm a sucker for when it's just one guy and like 30 people, and just the one guy obviously wins. Like, there's no reason why he should win this. Like people are just like attacking randomly, just like missing hits. He's barely hitting by, they just all fall down. Like, I love it. So like, and that's almost every action scene in this movie. And I was digging it
Oh,
for
for
a
sure.
while, for like an hour, and then there is some dumb in there we'll get to later. But like, generally speaking, I was actually kind of digging it. I thought it was shot well. I thought it was choreographed well. Just generally liked the characters generally. But then, weirdly enough, the moment the word Cobra was spoken on screen, it just fell off a cliff. So, like, the moment GI Joe stuff started actually like becoming a major part of the movie, it felt like it went off the rails, even though that's the universe this movie is set in. Like,
Right?
maybe it was like, maybe it's the fact that it was everything all at once, which, like, I guess structurally for the movie makes sense, because like he finds the weapons were Cobra branded. Who should they call to talk about Cobra stuff? Oh, it makes sense to bring the Joes in. So they bring that one, well, Scarlet. So
Something like that.
I guess she's a
For,
Joe.
I don't.
Yeah, that's fine.
Did
Did you see this in theaters?
Oh yeah.
Why?
Oh yeah. Because me and my friends are movie people. Like, we are the victims of, there's nothing out, guess we're just gonna go see trash. You know what I
Right,
mean?
that's fair. Saw
I
Morbius.
forgot.
So.
I forgot at what point it was kind of. I forgot when this was, but it was like in the middle of like a hole
It's
because
like
we
October
wasn't
last year,
late
I
enough for
think.
something like that. It was like, I know we were like waiting for something else,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like it doesn't come out for another 3 weeks, but I want to go to the movies, and it's like, all right, fine, we'll go see Snake Eyes. Sure, it's an action movie. It's almost an MCU movie, sure. And no, it
No.
was not. But
And
it was just like, it was trying to build, like, first of all, despite being the main character, he is kind of trash. Like,
yes.
he definitely, like, my thing at the end, he betrays the people
Mm-hmm.
and they forgive him, And then the other guy who was doing the right thing the whole time kills the bad guy, and because he used darkness, he's forever banished. I'm like, you know what? If that happened to me, I'd be a villain too, because
Like,
that's some BS. Like,
he
that's so.
gave the Firestone to the bad guys. He stole it from us and gave it to the bad guys, and you're gonna
Yes.
blame me for using it?
Yes. And again, not using it to justifiably kill someone who was going to kill all of us. Not even like I'm just angry, like actually saving all of our lives.
The guy was getting away. He tried to blast him. That
yes,
makes sense.
because this was just gonna happen again. So he's actually, and it's like because of that, they completely ousted him, and they're praising the guy who was the traitor in the first place. And I'm like, wait, whose movie is this really? Because he's the bad guy. Like, what? In the this movie should be called Shadow Storm. Like, this is stupid.
Storm
like,
Shadow, yeah.
I don't. It was weird because it's like now this movie made me think the villain deserves redemption because like the hero's not really the hero. The hero's kind of the worst.
And the dumbest part is, like, so the reason he's called Snake Eyes is because this random, like, mercenary guy has weighted dice that always land on on Snake Eyes.
Snake
and
Eyes,
he's like a two-faced thing where he's like, if I win, you die. If you win, you live, or whatever. And like he rigs it so he always wins, so they always die. But so because his dad died to a guy who uses Snake Eyes as like a calling card, he took on the name Snake Eyes. Why?
Makes no sense.
And then this man has the opportunity to kill the man who killed his father.
Mm-hmm.
And the mercenary guy is like, it wasn't me. I was hired by Cobra to kill him. He's like, Cobra? Oh no, I've been working with the bad guys this whole time. Who would have thought? So he frees the guy and then leaves. And then during the climax, the lady who was with Cobra, Baroness, she ends up joining their side to fight the other guy who isn't even part of Cobra, and then the movie ends. It's like, he didn't get a redemption arc.
No!
He didn't get his revenge story was just cut off completely, and he's just like, what?
Like, maybe that was what they were going for a sequel, but it's like...
Is it like...
What the heck? Like...
Is it like... He like gave up his revenge to serve a higher purpose or whatever, but that they didn't make it that clear. But I know he was like judged by that big snake again at the end, and it didn't kill him. Is that him getting over his revenge? But he didn't. But that was after he killed the villain guy. But that wasn't him getting revenge for his father's death. So I don't know.
I have no idea. Like, it doesn't make any sense. And that's why it's so annoying, because it's like, what? Like, you don't learn anything. The hero is not inspiring. The hero's kind of a jerk.
Mm-hmm.
The villain you feel bad for because you feel like the villain got cheated out of everything. And again, this whole thing was just to help him in the first place.
Yeah.
And then it's like, not only am I going to betray you and all your people, but also you're going to get the blame and I'm going to hunt you. Like, you know what I mean? It's
yeah. And
like, what?
I also have a major issue just with, so I'm going to say something and then immediately kind of contradict it. So, okay. And this might sound like a non sequitur, but bear with me. So one of my favorite aspects about The Batman from this year was the fact that almost every single aspect of the movie kind of like flowed through the Iceberg Lounge. They went there several times, like almost every major character, major event happened either in or around the Iceberg Lounge. I thought that was very good, like a very good...
I remember you saying that, yeah.
...framing device for the movie. I feel that worked because like it happened during significant points in Act 1, 2, and 3. Like they were spaced out. Like it was like you weren't there the entire time. Whereas in this movie, Snake Eyes goes to meet the villain guy in this club place. It was like a hot, what was it, like a sauna place that was
Yeah, something
some
like
villain lair. Okay,
kind of.
so he goes back to the complex. Like 10 minutes later, they come back to fight the villains again, and then leave. And then he comes back a third time, all in the span of like 40 minutes. I just feel like you differentiate the like where things happen a little more. I know this movie didn't have the biggest budget, but like I just feel like that back and forth just kind of made me feel just like almost dizzy by the final time he went. It's like
Because he like kept going there and reporting back and
yeah.
like, what'd you find out? What's this? Okay, you found where it is. There's this thing they're guarding. All right, that's what
Mm-hmm.
you know what I mean. And my thing is like I was expecting him to like pretend to go through with it and betray the bad, but no, he actually did it. And I was just like,
What?
really?
What?
Why? There was like no like there was like there felt like there was no reason to betray them.
Mm-hmm. And again, like I'm going to reiterate, I actually kind of liked the first like third of this movie, but then I think the moment that really just took me out of it was the moment he was with that like blind master, I think was his name, or that like blind black guy, and it was like, I'm going to show you the bridge between realities, to show you your past and show you what you need to fight past or whatever. And the way he does that, he like has this like blue magic orb that like shows him where to go. It's like
Forgot about that.
I don't remember GI Joe ever having like magic like
Nope.
that. That seems weird. Okay, like it got
Just
like 80s ridiculousness, but like it never went sorcery as far as I could remember.
sorcery.
That was just, and this guy just has it. Like this is just part of the ceremony. Like okay,
Yeah, it's like
and
you
then
don't have one.
and then there were several giant snakes that were just here.
Like three of them, right?
At least three giant snakes that are just in this pit. Like okay, they can see into your soul. Okay,
Sure.
I don't know. I just again the fact that this movie feels out of place in its own universe. It, essentially,
It kind of does.
if this were just like a one-off, fun Asian action movie, you can have random, magic stuff happen. You can have fire rocks. You can have whatever here and there because it's not set in this already established, military-based cartoon. But because it is set in that more grounded world, it's weird that these mystical elements are here. I don't know. That
Yeah, and
annoys
it's
me.
kind of like it kind of feels distracting too
Mm-hmm.
because it's like I thought this was more like a grounded, hard, gritty like fight movie, not like a
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It just feels weird. It just I don't know. There's a lot of things about this movie that you're just questioning. It's like the whole time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and like I knew this was gonna happen from the very, very beginning, but like deep down, I was like, I know this is gonna happen, but I hope it doesn't. But it freaking did. We didn't see the Snake Eyes costume until there was a minute left of
Yep.
screen time. And
Yep.
he only wore it for 24 seconds. We timed it. Like from the time we saw his
24. You had the second. You had
uh
to count the seconds.
like from the time like it started, started panning up from his boots up to his visor. We saw the visor for less than 2 seconds. He got on his bike, drove away. Weird smash cut to credits. It's like the movie's not over. He just became he just got it. Why couldn't he get that 30 minutes ago? Like, why couldn't he have that at least for the climax or something? But nope, it's just randomly because they forgot this was a G.I. Joe movie. Oh, and if you're going to go do this thing, you got to have the right equipment. Like, you could have given to him that at any point. But
Yes. Especially like before the giant action scene we just got out of. It's like, wait, we had this? You were just sitting on this?
yeah,
Like, what the heck?
like, and Storm Shadow's outfit looked generally like, but it didn't explain where he got his outfit from. Whatever. Like most of their outfit looked a lot like it for most of the movie, and they wore these biker helmets that kind of resembled their helmets.
Yeah.
Which was cute, I guess. But like I knew they were like, this is gonna be like a cute reference to their costumes, but we're only gonna show one of them at the very end of the movie.
Right.
I especially since, like you said earlier, Snake Eyes is a character who is pretty much nonverbal, so his entire character is how cool he is and looks. So you're gonna make him not look as cool as he can be for most of the movie.
It's just cues. It's like, I don't know. It's like, it feels like this is one of those movies that was like, oh, we need to make money. Oh, we haven't touched this in a while.
Mm-hmm.
And then they don't actually do their homework, and they just kind of throw it together, and they're just like, oh yeah, this will work.
Sure.
Sure.
And it's also
that's enough like the source material, right?
He's wearing black. He has a black shirt on. That's fine enough.
He's wearing black.
Sure.
Close enough. Honestly, I mean,
and it's also one of those movies where, the villain guy has been shown after he got the fire rock. He was shown to be able to just like instantly ignite and just disintegrate like multiple people at the same time. But of course, as soon as the main character is in his line of sight, he just forgets how to use it.
Well, no, it's like, well, it's the plot armor, but it's also like, it's dumb because they try to like make it make sense why he doesn't use it, and it's like, no, you could like, why are you in a fist fight with someone you could have disintegrated from 20 yards away? It's
like he's sword fighting Snake Eyes. Just blast him. What are you doing?
Right, that's what I'm saying. Right? It's like, what are you doing? Like, why are you? But it's. I mean, but then we don't get this cool action scene, I guess. But like.
And just don't have the fire rock in the movie if it's going to be this much trouble to work around. Like, I'm sure you can figure out other ways for. It's just a very dumb movie, and like it's just very dumb. Like
pauses. It's just a dumb movie.
Like.
0 stars.
It'd be one thing if it was like. It would be one thing if. So, the 2007 Transformers movie is a kind of decent movie per se, but it is a terrible Transformers movie.
The first one.
The first one. The rest, every single one after that is infinitely worse.
Okay, I'll just make sure because I was like,
the first one.
The first one's alright.
Still not
the
great.
Other one's alright.
Still not great. But like, if you take away the fact that they are Transformers, you just assume they are aliens, alien robots. Like, somewhat decent. Obviously, there's still several characters that are annoying. There's still moments that are cringeworthy. It is still not great, but like overall, it is serviceable as a movie.
Okay.
I feel like Snake Eyes, a G.I. Joe origin, is just structurally a very bad movie.
It's just not. It's just kind of dumb. Like, it doesn't do a good job explaining the character it's supposed to explain. But even if you, like you said, like ignoring that it's supposed to be Snake Eyes, if it's just a movie, it's still kind of dumb because the ending doesn't really make any sense. The action scenes are okay. I will say, especially at the beginning, there was a lot of shaky cam, especially in that like warehouse fight, which
Yeah.
like I don't know. Maybe it was just because I was like, maybe it's in the theater. It's more noticeable because I was
Mm,
like, for a while, I was getting dizzy,
right.
but it's like
But
it was kind.
I do appreciate how like you know, especially nowadays, movies can either be. It seems like when people are directing action sequences, they have two options. Either you have a cut every half a second, or you have long takes where it's just you're following one guy doing a hallway, like whatever. Like those seem to be generally the only
Mhm,
two options people seem to know how to direct nowadays. So I at
mhm.
least like the way this was shot, where it was like a good balance of like actually showing moves and stuff. So there's that, but
Okay.
not every action scene was like super inspired. I didn't love that one where they're on that like on that what's it called? What's like that truck that carries other
Oh,
cars?
the like car carrying trailer thing.
Yeah.
That
Oh.
yeah, I don't know what it's called, but yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, that scene had potential, but I feel like it was too dark,
Mm,
and B it just kind of felt like they didn't. I don't know. It kind of there's one I forgot which one, but in one of the Fast and the Furious movies, they're like fighting on
mm,
something kind of similar, and it kind of feels like that. They're kind of just they feel like they're not using the environment as like as this in a way that's fun, so it kind of feels pointless.
yeah.
So that's kind of how I feel about that scene too.
Yeah.
But
And like I'm I'm really trying to wrestle with with the idea of would I rather there be less G or fewer whatever less GI Joe references, fewer sorry I don't know the difference. No one does.
we get well, let us say we get what you're saying. It's fine.
I'm trying to wonder if there's if that would be if it would overall be a better product if there were fewer. Now I'm second guessing myself. Fewer. That doesn't sound right. Fewer GI Joe references and characters and elements, or if there were more characters and elements. Because I feel like if there were fewer, then it, would the fact that it's just focusing on Snake Eyes be enough? Like, could you until like the very end where he's recruited by the Joes? Would that like would that have been enough to make the movie work, or would I would prefer there be more like more GI Joe characters in it, more references to Cobra, etc., and risk having a X Men Origins Wolverine situation where like you
Oh,
bring in
true.
characters
Well,
that could have their
but
own
I
origin
feel
movie, you
but
know?
I feel like the common denominator isn't necessarily more care. I feel like it's just bad writing though.
Yes.
Because it's like I mean, like I feel like you can do origins where a character's kind of by themselves,
Mm-hmm.
and you slowly introduce like or at least tease this new universe, but it's done well. And I feel like there can be the opposite. You can have a new character, and then there's a lot of
Mm.
new characters and oh we're world building right off the bat, but it works because it's and I feel like the biggest thing for this, I feel like they focused more on the action than the story, and I feel like that made not one the action wasn't enough to save the movie,
Uh huh.
and also I think you can't really do that with something that's already pre-established. Like like this is like a character who has a pre-established. You can't just kind of forget this character's already existing source material when you're making a movie like
Mm-hmm.
this because it kind of just makes it feel. It just puts people off the wrong foot out the gate too, especially if it's not followed up by something better.
Mm-hmm.
So, eh.
Yeah, and the main reason why I'm kind of wrestling with that with those two ideas is the way it's shot right now. It's like a worse version of how Spider-Man is incorporated into Civil War. If you take Spider-Man out of that movie, nothing really changes.
Not really.
Like which like it's that's not a huge deal. Like I really like his scenes in that movie, but like overall, if you were to remove one character, he's probably the one you can get away with.
Oh yeah.
but which like is kind of apparent by just the way his scenes are shot. It's like almost as if he was put in later into the script, which is fine. Like they made it work. However, in Snake Eyes, the Scarlet, that one lady from Joe, it's almost like the movie forgets she's in it most of the time because she they call her. She has that one little action scene in that bathroom, and she's like, "I'll be there as soon as I can." A while passes, and she's just there for the climax, and then she's in the climax, and then like, but like she doesn't do much. Like she fights Baroness, who also doesn't need to be here. I don't know.
It feels just unnecessary extraness.
Like I would have been just. I think I would have been just fine with the movie going pretty much as it is. Just have the the guy who killed his dad be hired by the the guy who he's been working for this whole time. Which again, I feel that was the original script. I don't know. And then like he realizes his mistake, goes to confront him, and then like at the very very end, Scarlett or some other associate from Joe shows up, recruits him, and then they go from there. But the way it is right now, because they were trying to juggle the GI Joe elements, it felt like a worse movie, even though it is clearly set in that world. Yeah, it's dumb. Like I said, very, very glad I did not see it in theaters. Seeing it for free on Amazon Prime was the way to go.
Yeah, you didn't miss much.
Yeah. Um, I like it's not even a thing where I can recommend it if you are a big GI Joe fan because Snake Eyes isn't like the character from the source material.
It's not really relevant at all to that. It's kind of just its own thing, and it's its own thing with a Snake Eyes label put on it that is should not be there, pretty much.
So yeah, I am not surprised that it only made $41 million at the box office.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Oh man, I didn't think it was that bad. That's negative, right? They spent more money on. They spent a lot more money on that than.
I'm double checking now, but I'm pretty sure they spent more than 40.
That movie definitely looked like it cost more than 40 million to make. The
Oh,
CGI for the snakes alone was probably more than that.
They spent 73 million.
Jeez.
Let me just double check, make sure I have that number right. Yeah, $40.1 million.
Yeah, because this movie had a lot of marketing. I mean, this movie, they were talking about this movie like it was a big deal. Like I remember everyone was talking about this movie before it came out. Oh, marketing, all this. Like I don't remember if it was McDonald's or some food restaurant was always talking about Snake Eyes, and then
because it's a GI Joe movie and like that's intrinsically tied with merchandising and advertising, so that makes sense. And they got the main character or one of the main characters from Crazy Rich Asians to be the main guy. Like it just felt like all the pieces were coming together. Like big names in this established franchise in a summer where like COVID was still around, but like people didn't care as much. Like it felt like all the pieces were coming together for at least to break even at least. But no, not even close.
Jeez.
Yeah.
But like you can't even be like shocked because it kind of makes sense. This movie, like, this is the type of movie a lot of people probably didn't want to see, and then some people are like, "Oh, I'll check it out," and like, "Oh, how was that movie?" "Oh, don't watch it," and they said, "Okay."
No,
that was it.
Yeah, and it's a little unfortunate that it came out the same year as the Mortal Kombat movie, which is not very good, but because it's a lot shorter, it's better, and it also does feel like it is tied to that universe.
Yeah, at least it feels more like it's supposed to be there.
Yeah, so
if
if
that
you
makes sense.
want to watch like a fun, a fun like kung fu action movie, of the two that came out last year, watch Shang-Chi. But if you have a third one,
That's what I was about to say. I was like, I know you did. I think that because Shang-Chi came out, wasn't it before or
it
right
was.
after?
Oh, let me double check. I think it might actually. I think Snake Eyes was July, and
Yeah, that's what
Shang-Chi
I'm
was
thinking. I think
September.
Shang-Chi was like, I think that's what we were waiting on.
Mm.
And it was like, there's nothing out right now. Okay, well, let's watch Snake Eyes.
Yeah, it was July 23rd, so it was
Yeah.
little more than a month before.
Yeah.
Oh,
It was one of those movies where it's like, I remember I was like, I didn't love it. In the theater, I was like, yeah, it's okay. And as I was leaving the theater, I was listing more things I didn't like about
uh,
it. My friend was like, dude, you hate this movie. No, I don't hate it. It's just this didn't make sense. And I didn't like this. And also why that. And also, why is he bad? Like, you know what I mean? It was just like all the like and then by the time we got in the car, I was just like, okay, you just didn't like it.
I
Like,
don't
well,
like
maybe
this. So yeah, I don't recommend it.
it's not great,
No.
but it exists. It happened. We're here. But
Yeah.
yeah, Shang-Chi was definitely better.
Made 10 times the money, that's for sure. At least.
At least.
Yeah. Actually, I think it made right at like 450 million. So
Oh,
actually,
really?
yeah, over ten times. Yeah.
Man, I forgot COVID was really hitting stuff.
Yeah.
God.
Well, I don't recommend watching Snake Eyes, but what I do recommend is you watching that Black Panther Wakanda Forever trailer.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I hope I I so I'm a sucker. I really liked Multiverse of Madness. I liked Thor: Love and Thunder. I know they're not fantastic movies. I know they're actually Love and Thunder is like very dumb, but I kind of like it. But both those movies had fantastic trailers, so I want to believe this isn't going to be that situation where like the trailers are showing stuff that's straight up not in the movie, or just showing the best parts, or using songs to evoke emotions I just won't feel during the movie. But considering what kind of movie this is, I think it's looking really good.
Well, that's kind of my thing. I feel like this isn't going to be the kind of movie that it's like. I feel like this is going to be like half tribute, half movie. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
this doesn't feel like it's going to be a full. Like, granted, they're going to still do a movie, but like I feel like a lot of it is going to be a tribute to Chadwick Boseman, and obviously he won't be in it, but it's like, they're going to be a lot of symbolism and stuff like that. And I feel like they are just going to try to convey emotion here. And again, I think they are still going to try to move along the MCU and obviously they're at it, Atlantis and Wakanda expanding, a new Black Panther. It was Ironheart, I think we saw for a second in there. So like there's definitely a lot going on here, which is exciting, but it's also like, okay, let's I'm not expecting this movie to be as good as the first one.
Right.
But I am expecting it to be emotional and something and more of an experience than a movie that I'm going to feel like coming back to all the time. I feel like it's going to be an experience and a tribute kind of thing. So
yeah, like from the trailer, the only thing that I'm even a little concerned about is I'm a little worried about how the movie is going to balance introducing Riri Williams into this universe, because like we're already having to, probably spend like a good portion of the first half of this movie, wrestling with the fact that like that T'Challa is dead, how the country moves on, like what all happens there, introducing Namor, making a new
and just Atlantis as a whole.
Yeah. So like that's already going to be a lot on top of Ironheart. Like, how exactly is she going to fit into the story? Will that feel cohesive? Is it just going to be like, is it going to feel like a thing where she's added just because the studio said she needs to be here now? Hopefully not, but
I hope not. But it does kind of feel, because again, it's not that I wasn't excited to see her. It's more just like, I don't know if I want this now.
Yeah, like
I
especially
felt
since
more like an Armor
like
Wars thing.
Namor is one of Marvel's oldest characters, so
Hmm.
it's gonna be interesting seeing them have to introduce him. Like, I could easily see him being like basically the secondary main character, even if he's an antagonist, still being like a pretty decent focus of the movie,
Hmm.
and then having like introducing him, introducing a new Black Panther, and which I know will be a character I already know, but still like the idea of a new Black Panther in this universe, and then also Ironheart might.
Feels like a bit much.
Yeah, but this movie
Well,
is going to be over 2.5 hours, so I think
that
that
is true. This is going to be a long one.
yeah.
Bring your popcorn. But my okay, so here's my thing about it.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like yeah, like I kind of hope the whole Ironheart thing kind of I don't want to say gets rushed off, but kind of just gets hey, just keep this in the back of your mind and we'll address this later.
Mm-hmm.
And then we kind of like you said, I feel like, they could do kind of like maybe from like, one character from Wakanda's perspective and another, a Namor or another Atlantis character's perspective and kind of like building their stories to kind of almost like Avatar, but in one
Mm-hmm.
movie, kind of building two opposite sides of their stories together and then they converge.
Right.
And I think that could be really interesting.
Because I really liked that one bit from the trailer where Umbaku was like, they don't call him king, they don't call him ruler, like they call him basically like the serpent god. Like he's like how like I'm really interested in how that like how they're. I don't even know if it's technically Atlantis, but like whatever Namor is from, like how his culture exists. Um, like that's I don't know. That's going to be interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I also just love how this movie is shot. It just looks very beautiful. Um, like you know, some Marvel movies nowadays look a little bland. So, uh, whereas like just like the CG looks very clean, the lighting is very good. Just like the way things are set up, just looks like a very. I don't want to say well made movie because I feel that's kind of like diminishing what it is, but it just feel like a lot more effort went into this movie than a lot of other movies nowadays. So like it's probably going to be very good.
Mm,
Yeah,
I think it will be.
yeah.
I'm excited. Like it's gonna be, and again, it is gonna be something that you're gonna want to see. I think,
Mm.
even if it's not super like, oh man, this is a movie I want to watch 100 times. Like it's still gonna be really good.
Yes. I think it has a very high chance of being the highest grossing film, or at least highest grossing superhero movie this year.
Oh yeah,
Um, like I know Doctor Strange like just barely didn't make 1 billion. Black Adam might be a sleeper hit. I don't know if it'll break 1 billion, but it'll at least be like 700, 800 somewhere in
Black
there.
Adam has that like cult following vibe to it. Like all the like DC fanboys are gonna come out the woodwork and watch it 70 times so they can
There's
like
gonna be
beat
some
the
guy
system.
who's like claiming Superman's in the after credit scene, so everyone's gonna rush in there. Like, yeah, I yeah, I could easily see it at least doing 700 to 800 million, but could do more. But I think Wakanda Forever is going to clear 1 billion kind of
Yeah, no,
easily.
I think going off the rep of the last one, as well as just being, yeah, I think just knowing what we're getting into, I think definitely, yeah.
Mm. So yeah, that's exciting. Um, so this next bit of news is kind of funny. At the very towards the end of last podcast, we went on a weird tangent about Now You See Me Too. And like shortly after we finished recording that, I saw an article that said Now You See Me 3 is in the works.
Wait, is it really?
Apparently, yeah.
This actually, I like this because I actually do like those movies. I do.
They're
Those movies make me
ridiculous,
feel
but
smart when
yes.
I watch them. titles aside, I feel smart
Yeah.
watching those movies because it's like, oh wait, nope, that's not there. It's not really the him, and then he's over. You know what I mean?
Sometimes they do literal magic. Like sometimes they just
Well,
literally
yeah,
disappear.
no, I mean like I still think like the time he like stopped rain, I was like, okay, well that's just you could. I mean, granted he didn't actually stop rain, which I'm like, I feel like if I don't know.
Mm.
I know optical illusions are wild, but I'm like, I feel like if it was raining, I would have still felt it.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
but but
But yeah,
regardless,
okay, a third one's good.
but going off our name discussion, they should have called it "Now You Three Me."
You threw me. Oh my god.
Or like "Now You See Me Again" or something. I don't know. It's just like
Okay, so
uh,
what about okay? So back on the "Now You See Me, Now You Don't" thing.
mm,
What if they called it "Now You See Me" like colon "Now You Don't"?
I
Would
mean,
that be fine with you?
I would have liked that for the second
Because
one,
you,
but yeah,
yeah, because it's like because you know how like you know how like movies now it's like they don't necessarily say this too. You know how it used to be, oh this too. No, 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 no. Now it's just oh Sherlock Holmes. Sherlock Holmes, A Game of Shadows. Like it's just
I
implied
mean,
that's the sequel.
Wakanda Forever is that. So,
Exactly. Captain America: The Winter Soldier. Like, you know what I mean? It's not
mm,
always just two. It's just it's
yeah.
implied it's a sequel. It's implied you know the order. So yeah, they could have just called it "Now You See Me, Now You Don't."
Especially since it's been like 5 years since the last one. Like I think three might be a little. I don't know. I think enough time has passed where you can like not necessarily soft reboot, but you don't necessarily have to acknowledge that
Oh
it is the
no.
third. It's just yeah, you can
I
just
mean, even the second one, they kind of just ignored people who didn't return and then just, oh no, this person's in it now.
yep.
Okay. Which wasn't like distracting, but it was like, okay, I guess nothing's really like sacred,
Yeah.
which is probably for the best. This is just one of those
Woody Harrelson has a
fun.
weird twin now. Like okay, I guess
Yeah,
sure.
for some reason.
He briefly mentioned he had a brother in the last one. Not that he had a twin, but Woody Harrelson doesn't have a twin, so why would you had? I don't know. It kind of annoys me when like when they have a random character have a twin that's just the same actor playing the twin, and they have to block them in ways that they're clearly not in the same place. It's dumb.
And they had a lot of interaction together. I think that was the thing
uh,
too. Like they had that whole like we're trying to read each other's mind thing,
right.
which also it doesn't really make sense that twins would have the same like magic or skill, whatever. I feel like that's kind of redundant, but
Yeah.
whatever, it's fine. But I don't know. But yeah, we'll see. No, I like
Yeah.
it. I like these kind of movies, so yeah, I'm fine with those.
Yeah. I mean, it's not one I was expecting. I've
Nope.
I've seen both of them when they air on FX. I would like didn't see them in theaters or anything, but like they're fine enough. Yeah. Depending on the reviews, I might see it in theaters.
Yeah.
Yeah. So YouTube sometimes does things that a lot of people don't like,
I don't know.
and I say that kind of ironically because the most recent thing they did that people don't like is take away the ability to tell people you don't like something.
Yep.
They took away they didn't take away the dislike button. They took away public dislike buttons.
Which is
Very
dumb
dumb.
because I want to know beforehand if I'm going into a tutorial video if it's actually going to tell me what I want to know or not.
Yep. But whatever. Especially since the creators can still see, so I don't know. Whatever. They're just salty that their own videos get a lot of dislikes. It's whatever. So recently, YouTube has apparently been experimenting
No.
with certain things that might not stick around, but like knowing these basically monopolies, they tend to think they can get away with some stuff. So they've been testing. First off, there was a couple weeks ago there were people who were reporting seeing up to 10 ads before a video.
No way.
They were 10, 15-second ads, so you couldn't even skip them.
No, I don't believe that. There's no way.
There were some
10?
reports of 3, 7, 8, 10. Yep.
I mean, okay, 10, 15-second ads. Okay, that's 150 seconds. That's like 2.5 minutes. Like,
Yeah. That's
like, no, at that point, I'm not using YouTube anymore.
it's. I think I heard that of all the people that had that happen to them, they didn't get any ads during the video. But
I don't
still, I
care.
don't care.
I think you should get the option. I kind of like that.
Like how
Either.
Hulu is like, which ad experience do you prefer? The 1 3 minute block now or ads throughout? Like that's that's preferable if possible.
Yeah, because like I'll just choose the 3 minutes, go get a snack,
Mm,
come back, and then watch my thing interrupted. Like,
right. But if it's but like I feel YouTube should know. th- I
they
don't know.
know, they just don't
That's
care.
bad. That is, especially since YouTube ads are kind of insufferable.
Yeah.
Although if I were to look on the bright side, if more than which we already are dealing with 2 ads per ad break now,
Oh
which
yeah.
like but that wasn't the
Yeah.
case for a while.
You're lucky if they're like the short ones
Yeah,
or skippable.
like it is my biggest fear where not you know what I mean like it's sometimes you're watching a video and like an ad will happen and it's like this weird 40-minute just like guy who's trying to scam you by like talking about like some vitamin or some seminar he went to or just like some garbage like
Hmm.
that.
Something you don't care about.
And like some I usually use Bluetooth earbuds when I do whatever. So like I'm just like doing something or in the bathroom or whatever, and like I'm listening to a video. If the ad happens and it's that, and I can't easily go back to my computer and skip it, I'll have to listen to a lot of that. Or even if it's just those like stupid 2 minute Dr. Squatch ads. Ugh.
Or like there's these ads for yeah, like the ads that just basically start playing a movie. It's like Netflix, they'll just start a
Hmm.
movie. It's like an hour, and it's like, did you think I
What?
was just gonna sit here and watch an hour long? Like,
Hmm.
what? No,
No.
like, what are you doing?
Like an hour long movie, you can't really like rewind and like pause easily.
Right?
It's not. Why? What are you doing?
Why would you? Whose idea? Who thought this was a good idea?
So if more than 2 ads can eliminate ads that are more than 15 seconds, but you can skip those. So really, they're only 5 seconds. Like realistically,
Well, my thing is,
uh,
you get ads for like the amount of times I've gotten ads longer than the video I've wanted to watch
mm-hmm.
is atrocious.
Yes.
Because it's like I want to watch like a 15-second clip, and it's like 30-second ad, and I'm like, you are a terrible person. Or two 15-second unskippable ads, and I'm just like,
Uh,
oh.
but like these kinds of things, and something else I'll get to in a second. These kinds of things are, maybe their way of like essentially forcing people to try to get YouTube Premium, so you don't have to deal with the ads anymore that we're forcing you to.
But it's YouTube. Like I go to YouTube because they don't have as many ads, and that's just content. Because I don't feel like investing it into an entire show or movie.
Yes.
And then YouTube's like, nope, we're gonna make this hard. And you're like, you suck. Why would you do that?
Yeah. And the other thing they've been apparently testing some places is restricting 4K video streaming behind premium as well.
They wouldn't.
They might.
They better not.
They
That's
might.
so trash.
Like, how do you frame something like that to how do you pitch that to the audience? Because at least with the getting rid of ads, you at least be like watch YouTube uninterrupted. You can't be like in order to try to.
Maintain what you already have.
There's no way to sugarcoating that. Literally, they're taking away a feature you have and locking it behind a paywall. Like that's.
Well, that's, I mean, I hate to say it, but that's everybody. I mean, that's iPhone, that's all these things. It's like, oh yeah, we're getting rid of this, so you have to use this. And it's like,
Actually, yeah, that is
that's
even like
trash.
Netflix and other streaming services. They have like certain tiers where it's like here you can only watch 480p, which is basically not even an option. Here's 1080p. Here's 4K, which is like $20 a month. Like I don't want it. I'm not gonna pay $20 a month just to watch 4K. Come on.
And a lot of the videos aren't even 4K capable.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, what? It's not even worth it. Unless I'm putting it like on my TV.
Yeah, I feel like this would almost discourage people from producing 4K videos because
It would.
like what like a vast majority of their audience is not going to watch premiums. Like why would they bother?
No. That's what I'm saying. That's gonna hurt their numbers and hurt their bottom line too. So there's no point.
So yeah, I like YouTube. I like it how it is right now. Well, I prefer it when it was back to only one ad per video, but
Or none.
or none. I know creators got to pay the bill, blah blah, blah, but like, whatever happened to like trying to improve your product to make people want to actually pay for it, as opposed to taking away features or adding annoying things where you can pay to get get rid of it. Like that seems reasonable to me, but apparently that's not how it is.
Apparently not, right?
Yep.
Only it was that easy.
Mm-hmm. Um, so one last little bit of news. You know the game Overwatch,
Have I ever played it?
or like, do you like know of the game?
Oh yeah, no. My old roommate used to play all the time. Oh yeah.
Okay. Well, Overwatch 2 was officially released today.
Mm-hmm.
And because of the way because of the way Overwatch 2 is like functioning, essentially everyone who currently owns Overwatch basically gets upgraded directly to Overwatch 2. Like they don't need to
Okay.
buy Overwatch 2 in order to only current players. I think if you buy like a Overwatch new, if you even can do that, I think it'll lock you out. But if you're a current user, it'll basically upgrade you to Overwatch 2 with all the new maps and all the new characters and movesets and all that. Which some people can be a little annoying because like they overhauled almost every character. So like if you liked a character a certain way and they changed it, you can't go back.
Ooh.
Yeah, but that's how they're doing it. Overwatch 1 is officially dead and it has now been changed to Overwatch 2. But in order to do this, Overwatch the original, it actually went offline for over 24 hours before Overwatch 2 came out. All for the entirety of October 3rd, 2022, Overwatch was just unplayable.
They just shut it down
They
for
just
the
shut
day?
it down for over 24 hours
Why?
to make sure the servers were ready or whatever. Like I don't know.
Yeah. Okay, here's my thing. Overwatch is one of those games you don't really need a 2. You kind of could just keep adding to it.
I agree.
Like, I don't, like, there was no need to, like, we're going to stop this and make it, like, you could just change characters at different times and just go for it. Like, just, you know what I mean? Because, like, I mean, what if they just made Fortnite 2? It's like, just add stuff to Fortnite. Like, it doesn't, you don't have to, it's not that much. If it's the same game, just kind of keep doing what you're doing.
Like it'd be one thing if Overwatch 2 as it is right now felt like an all new experience, but pretty much everyone who plays it is like this feels like just a seasonal update. It feels like because even before characters got switched around and movesets were changed and stuff all the time, like maps were changed. That just happened a lot even when Overwatch was in its prime. But now I know there is going to be a story mode coming if you actually like pay to play it. Because Overwatch 2 as it is right now is just like a free to play experience.
Hmm.
But you can pay to get the story mode, and I guess that is justified as a two per se. But I feel you could also just like have Overwatch campaign mode as like a $20 thing that you can just buy. And I guess I essentially probably Overwatch 2, like Overwatch's sales were going like we're down to a point where they were like we need to reinvigorate it, and there's no other way we can do that outside of just a complete overhaul and calling it 2, I guess. But
But like no, like you could have just done that. I mean, I don't know. Like you could have just said Overwatch. You could have just updated Overwatch entirely, and then just okay, that's it. Like I don't know. I feel like the whole two thing is kind of redundant, unnecessary. Just kind of, I mean, because I mean, again,
yeah.
I don't like. I'm not an Overwatch player, so I'm not going to say it's the exact same thing.
Mm-hmm.
But I assume for the majority of it is the same, just with new bells and whistles.
From what
You
I
know what
could
I mean?
tell, yeah, like a lot of the like modes are the same. A lot of the like pretty much every I think every character is coming back plus a couple of new ones. So like mechanically it seems fairly similar. It's, yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Like, people are probably gonna at least try it out. Like because it is a brand new experience. Like people who weren't playing it might at least try it out since especially since it is free to play. But I don't know how long it'll. I don't know how long 2 will stick around. Like because Overwatch 1, it was a very very good game. Like I played that a lot throughout college. Like it was a very very fun experience. I played for a while and just kind of fell off because most people did. So,
Mm-hmm.
but we'll see how long 2 lasts. But no.
We'll see. I don't know. I mean,
Yeah, I think just the fact that Overwatch 1 was like literally a dead game for over 24 hours is what makes the story especially
well,
fun.
that's kind of my thing. I'm like, do you just not care that people just kind of like lost their game? Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I kind of get it, but I feel like it wasn't really necessary.
Especially since like I said, especially since you know several characters got complete overhauls and this is an always online game. You can't even like mod characters to go back to the original versions because since you're always online, you can't like play if you want to mod
Right.
it. So it's you literally can't play the game how you want to play if you liked the old version better.
Too
So
bad.
too bad. Yeah, like I'm sure they did everything they can to make the new characters as fun or better or like overall improvements as they can, but like not everyone might think they're better. So
There'll be the like immediate patch that everyone's mad about, and then okay, we fix this and that and that.
mm-hmm.
So it'll I don't know, but it's
Yeah, I don't know. Um, I mean, I'll still probably download it since it is free to play and just try it out at least for a little while. But like, I'm also currently digging Splatoon 3 on the Switch, and I like that video game quite a bit. I don't know if this is gonna. I don't know.
it's a fair game, yeah.
Yeah. Um. So yeah, I think that's everything I have. Anything you want to bring up or discuss before we sign off?
Just yeah, Black Panther 2 exciting, and then just kind of like waiting. I don't know, like
Mm-hmm.
it's weird because it's like usually there's I don't know, it feels kind of like there's always usually that one thing. Oh, it's only this many days. Like I feel like we're not counting the days down to anything right now.
I am to Pokemon. I think
Well,
it's like
yeah, okay,
66 days left until Pokemon Sword and Shield, or sorry, Scarlet and Violet.
Scarlet and Violet, yeah, I'm probably gonna get those. Correct me if I'm wrong, but it's like, okay, so
Hmm?
what's new about this one? Like the newest one?
What's new about it? It's the
Yeah.
first officially open world Pokemon
Okay.
game. Like Arceus was open world, like
Yeah.
in a way,
Kind of.
yeah, in the same way like Mario Odyssey is open world. Like you're in one big area, and you can go around, and then you can go to another big area, and you can go around another big like
But the areas are still kind of linear.
yes, like the you can't like go from one area directly like to like you can't climb a mountain. Oh, you're in the mountain area now. Like it's not like
Mm.
that. Whereas Scarlet and Violet are gonna be like a more open-ended, open-world adventure. Um, I'm a little concerned about about how exactly Game Freak is gonna balance it because Game Freak is they're really frustrating because like they're it seems like they always know exactly what gamers want them to do, and then they'll do it in the most obtuse way possible, or in the way that like is like we acknowledge you wanted this, and we might eventually get it exactly how you want it, but here's how we're gonna do it now. Like I guarantee. So the currently they've been hyping up the fact that because it is open world, you can go to any gym leader in any order you want, which
Hmm.
sounds really cool. However, the way it's been worded so far, it sounds like the gym leaders' levels and teams and stuff aren't going to scale based on where you go, which is what I
Kind of
thought they
pointless.
would do. Like, obviously, I knew like, if you go right towards what would be the like the let's say the grass gym leader is the first gym leader. If you go there, the Pokemon of that route would be like 7 to 10 ish, and then whatever. But if you go to the left, like over the cliff, you'll go to like level 40s. That's what I was expecting. But if you weren't able to end up going past that, the Rock Gym will say, who would generally be the sixth gym leader, they would scale their Pokemon down to what would be the first gym leader's levels around like 14 to 20.
Interesting.
That's what they should do, but they're not doing that. From what
So
I
it's
could
gonna
tell, they're not
So
doing it.
it's not. So it's going to be you can go any gym you want, but you can't because you're not going to be able to stop a level 40 out the box. You'll get
Yes.
stomped.
Yeah.
So it's not. So yeah, I mean it's like not gated but still gated.
Which, yeah, I don't know. I think
Because
it.
even if you caught higher, sorry, I didn't mean
No,
to
go,
cut
go,
you
go,
off.
go,
But
go, go.
even if you caught higher level, like you got lucky and caught like a higher level Pokemon, it wouldn't listen to you because you don't have
Probably not. Yeah.
enough, like yeah, or whatever. So it's like there's
Mm-hmm.
no real incentive to go in the order that's not already assigned anyway.
Mm-hmm. And then if you do decide to go fight the fifth gym leader first, and they're on like level 32, and then you want to backtrack over to the grass place, there you're gonna stomp them because you already beat the fifth gym leader. Like it's I
Right.
don't know. I'm very curious how they'll actually balance it to make it a fun experience. Um, there's going to be like multiple different traversal options and whatnot, but so which I think is the number one thing any open world game needs to nail. Which Breath of the Wild nailed pretty well. RCS did a very good job at.
Hmm.
Because by the end of the game, you're able to basically just like go wherever you want very easily. Um, so I hope they're able to nail just traversing the world being fun. Um, yeah, there's a couple of other like little things here and there that are new and are different, but that's like the main hook. It is the first officially open world Pokemon game.
Okay, that does sound exciting. I
Yeah.
think there will be some quirks because it's the first time they've really gone about it, but that does sound really awesome. I'm
Yeah.
like something about like, isn't there like multiplayer or something like that, or like?
There is. I don't care though. I just don't know what you're gonna do with that. Like I don't. Yeah, I don't. Like I know there was there was like kind of multiplayer modes in Sword and Shield where there's these big raid battles where you or like teams of four fought this big Pokemon. There's something similar to it in this game, but I don't know in the overworld what you're gonna be able to do with your friends. But I don't know. I don't know. I don't know.
It's still Pokemon,
Yes,
though.
it's
Oh,
still
wait.
it's still gonna be a lot of fun for me. Hopefully, um, and hopefully, unlike with Sword and Shield, people are gonna buy it and be like, "This is good enough," which they did not think for Sword and Shield. And I liked it quite a bit. People go up in arms over that game, but I thought it just was not worth it. Hopefully, people will reel it back a little bit with this game, but well, we'll see how that goes.
We'll see.
Yeah.
You know, but I'll probably get. I know I want to get Arceus, but I might get the new ones too. We'll see.
Mm.
So me and my brother were thinking about getting back into it, but I'm like, well, we'll see.
The one major criticism I have about Arceus is that it takes like 2 hours to like really start playing. There's
That is
a lot of
true.
dialogue.
No, that no, I okay. So like, yeah, my friend had it, and they were like, oh yeah, just play for a while. I was 2 hours and 51 minutes in before I was free to kind of just do what I wanted, and I
uh,
was like, it was a long tutorial. Like
yeah,
that's like Kingdom Hearts 2 long. Like that is ridiculously long tutorial. But
like as much as I loved that game, I don't see myself replaying it anytime soon. Like
right?
most Pokemon games, even the most recent Diamond and Pearl remakes, which I thought were kind of meh, I played through those games 3 times, like pretty much back to back to back. Like
Whoa.
with like various teams, various like ways of playing. Like it was, I thought it was like a lot of fun playing in different ways. Like Sword and Shield, I played 5 times, I think. But Arceus, I even though I like that game more than these others, I don't want to sit through all that again.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, that's yeah, it's Pokemon, so
Yeah.
worth it. But
But yeah, let's see. Black Adam is this month, I think. Right?
oh, that is
October
right.
20 something. So that's something
Yeah.
to look out for. you know.
Oh my gosh, weird. Black. Okay.
Uh,
All right. So yeah, I'm like, okay. So Black. Okay. What do you think? I like honestly, Black Adam. Like, do you think this is gonna be like? I don't know, man. Like I want to like it, and there are things that I do like, but again, I feel like it's one of those they're showing all the best stuff in the trailers, and the actual movie's gonna be kind of meh.
I'm very worried about the fact that Black Adam isn't really the like. Well, let me put it this way: I'm very worried about the fact that the Justice Society of America isn't actually the main antagonist of the movie, because there is that one red guy who was at the end of that last trailer who's
Hmm.
he's gonna team up with Doctor Fate to take him out, or whatever. Like that's just gonna happen. And I don't want that. I, I just why can't the villain of your movie just be bad? Like why does he have to be this
Because
weird
he's an
anti-hero?
anti-hero, which is so forced, and no
Mm-hmm.
one asks like that. And that's the thing I hate with these villain movies. It's like they're not just villain movies.
Mm-hmm.
Like they're oh no, they're misunderstood. Anti like I understand everyone's the hero of their own story, but like when it's like we're not gonna do this like oh Joker's actually not that bad of a guy. It's like no he is he's a
He's just
terrible person. He's
misunderstood.
he's horrible.
He's
Like
just got
no,
a
let's
mental
not.
illness. Like that's okay.
I'm like killing people for funsies is not necessarily like I don't think that's a redeemable quality. Like
hmm
sorry. But yeah, it's just kind of like they're trying to like I understand that they like audiences want a character they can root for, but I feel like you can root for a character being bad. Like I think you can root for villains just being good villains.
hmm
And I
And
think that
I think I think Black Adam's. I think the biggest hurdle it needs to jump over is I'm super afraid it's going to take itself too seriously. I didn't really touch on this.
Mm,
I forgot to really touch on this when we talked about Snake Eyes. But one of the major problems with that movie is that even though it is in the GI Joe universe, it took itself super seriously.
it really did.
Therefore, the magic and GI Joe stuff felt out of place. This Black Adam, I know that character has like a crazy dark backstory. I know Dwayne Johnson, like he can get goofy in roles and whatnot, but like I feel like he's gonna be like too invested in this role to like allow it to be goofy, allow it to like not.
No, he's gonna take his like you can kind of feel it is gonna be pretty serious. Like he's gonna take it very seriously. It
Mhm.
is kind of the vibe it kind of feels.
Yeah, and like I know that's what Snyder Bros want, but I don't. And I know it shouldn't be too goofy because then you like get into Shazam territory and that should be its own thing. But like, I think there can be a decent balance. And
Yeah.
if I feel it just it if it's doing too much, I don't know if I want that. But people might like that. I don't know.
No, we'll have to see because I don't know. I am skeptical of it. I am officially skeptical,
Mm-hmm.
but we'll have to see. I'm
It
not.
is the next superhero thing, and I like superhero things, so I might see it.
This is true. I don't know how I feel about anti-heroes though. I'm
No,
still kind of.
no,
We'll see about that.
yeah.
I don't know, but we'll be. We'll see. I'll check it out,
Mm.
and we will see. We'll compare notes. I'm sure.
Report back in a couple of weeks.
Oh yeah,
Yeah. Okay. Anything else?
that's all I've got from here.
Okay. So with that, we'll see you all next time.
Take care, everyone.